Hi guys, back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down some things that I thought about in this case, and hopefully by me breaking it down, it'll help you guys understand some things a little bit better as well. I chose this picture because I believe this is her last known look of her being pregnant. So let's get into it, guys.
Tonight with a heart-wrenching update in the search for Neziah Harris. Thank you for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 5. I'm Glenda Lewis. The 13-year-old girl went missing this past January as she was getting off the school bus. Today, Detroit police and the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office announcing they believe Neziah was murdered by a 41-year-old man who had allegedly been molesting her for years. He now faces a long list of charges, including first-degree murder. 7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels inside the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center as police outlined what they believe happened to Neziah. She joins us with the disturbing allegations and why families say this investigation needs to continue.
You look at that face and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life.
This photo of a smiling, seemingly happy Neziah Harris is believed to be the last one ever taken.
She is smiling and waving and saying hello. But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye.
Hours after it was taken on January 9th, the 13-year-old got off her school bus in Detroit and vanished. Now, 9 months later, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is charging this man, 41-year-old Jarvis Butts, with murdering and sexually abusing her.
We did everything we could. They called the police on us.
Neziah's great aunt and her cousin tell me family knew about the abuse since 2022. The young girl lived with her grandmother. They say they called Child Protective Services multiple times and nothing was done.
And they swept it up under the rug. Well, I don't get in my kids' business. We're going to handle it. I'm saying you can't handle it. The proper authorities need to handle it. She did nothing.
According to Detroit police, Butts had access to Neziah because he and Neziah's aunt had children together.
Mr. Butts targeted and befriended women who had to have sexual relationships with their young daughters.
The prosecutor's office says there is a flood of evidence against Butts, including sexual photos between him and Neziah, people seeing them together the afternoon that she disappeared, texts showing that they planned to meet up, and texts of Neziah telling Butts that she was pregnant. Then search history from Butts looking for abortion methods.
How do a 13-year-old girl walk around your house pregnant and you don't know it?
Not only is Butts being charged with Neziah's murder, he is in custody right now on a different case, and he is also being charged with more counts of criminal sexual conduct regarding 2 other girls under the age of 13 when they were allegedly abused. 7 News Detroit doesn't typically show mugshots, but we're showing this one in case there are any other victims out there. Neziah's body has never been found. She should have turned 14 earlier this month.
For that to only be one person being charged is insulting. It's multiple people involved. This is not enough. It could have been prevented years ago.
Butts is scheduled to be arraigned on Friday. We'll keep you updated throughout this trial. In Detroit, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.
So hard to digest. Sarah, thank you. Stay with 7 News Detroit. As we continue to follow this heartbreaking case, we'll be in court for the suspect's arraignment. You can find updates on air and online at WXYZ.
Okay, so first thing we know, that picture they showed, she was wearing a white shirt, black jacket. Where did they get a pink one piece from? Also, she told him that she was pregnant, and we just need to go back all the way through the text messages of when and how far along she was at that time, January 9th. So even though the news clipping stated what she was last wearing, I wanted to go to the family member's Roxy Rocks page to see what she posted on the flyer, what it said. And it says, Neziah Harris went missing on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, sometime after 2:50 p.m. from Detroit's east side. She was last seen exiting a school bus in the area of Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive. She was wearing a light blue jean shirt, light blue jean pants, pink and white rubber coat with a fur collar, and blue and white Nike gym shoes. Neziah is the name. Neziah is 13 years old, 5'2" tall, and weighed 130 pounds. Now, mind you, they said she was wearing red, black, and white Nikes. And then they said in here she's wearing what is that? Blue and white Nike gym shoes. How did she go from two different colors like that? Not to mention they even said she had on a blue jean shirt. A blue jean shirt, y'all can clearly see what they trying to say in that picture. The last picture she took was a white shirt. Come on now. This ain't adding up, and they need to make it mix because I ain't no dummy. But I'm gonna break it on down for y'all and let y'all get it. I would think Shannon, Annette, and Shannon twin sister, because they all live in the house together, would know what Neziah had on that day, especially Annette, because she says she dropped Neziah off at school that day, which I'm gonna debunk that too. And I would think Roxy, who's doing all the advocating for Neziah, would probably want to fact that out, like really fact check that, because you wouldn't want to be putting out wrong information on this girl, and this is what people looking for her to be in. And this is just a needle in a haystack, because this is the beginning of me breaking down some of the discrepancies throughout this whole case, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm not letting up. Y'all keep watching, because I got you.
On January 9th, 2024.
Yes, she was wearing a pair of light powdered blue jeans with a light powdered blue jacket that had the black little fur around the collar. It was like a two-piece set.
Okay. And did she have a sweater on or a shirt on or something?
She had a shirt. She wore a shirt underneath it.
Maybe I'm tripping because I don't see a light powder blue jacket on under the black one. So she's saying that she had on two sweater hoodies and a white shirt. That don't make sense, and that ain't what it's showing in this picture at all. Now, one thing I will say is what they saying she had on in this picture right here of her missing on the night. It matches. It's what a girl would do, is make sure their shoes match their clothes, right? Because my daughters do it all the time. Now, what don't make sense is them backtracking at some point saying that she had on red, white, and black shoes with this outfit. But the grandma saying she had on powder blue and that powder blue and white. But then they saying that they found the red, white, and black Nikes with this pink bodysuit that we've never seen a picture of her with that outfit on the day she went missing. So this is just all confusing, but I'm breaking it down for y'all. Them having the red, black, and white Nikes with that pink bodysuit really fucked them up. Let me be honest, because no girl is wearing red, black, and white Nikes with pink anything. They don't even match. And her being the age she is, they always make sure they look perfect. Everything match. And let me tell y'all, all of this is my opinion. So the way that they found that outfit tells me, it leads me to believe that that stuff was planted. When y'all listen to this recording, this pre-trial, the detective or whatever he is that found this outfit, he gonna explain to y'all how he seen it before he touched it and moved it. Somebody planted this stuff to try to throw people off, because it don't make sense. It just don't make sense at all. I'm gonna let y'all listen to this real quick.
Okay. Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record?
Name's Wyatt Barnes.
And how are you employed?
I work for the United States Border Patrol.
And how long have you been employed by the U.S. Border Patrol?
14 years and change.
And were you working back on March 12th of 2024?
Yes.
And in what capacity were you working?
I was working in a search and rescue capacity. That's our primary job, or my primary job.
Okay. And were you working alone or with a partner or a group of people?
With a team. There was a sizable team that day.
And what is it that you guys were doing?
We were responding to a missing person in that area.
And which area are we talking about? Where were you at?
7 Mile and Berg.
Okay. And what was your role in searching the 7 Mile and Berg area?
I was searching the riverbank of the River Rouge. We were searching south along the bank. I was on the east side of the bank in the 7 Mile and Berg area.
Okay. And when you were searching this area, was there anything in particular that you were told to look for?
Just nothing solid, but there were just some like child-sized clothing things, just anything that could have been washed up on the riverbank. There was a storm recently, so we were in the water and on the riverbanks.
Okay, so you're kind of looking for maybe some child-sized clothing.
Yes.
Okay, and did you come across any clothing that you thought maybe would fit a description?
Yes.
Okay, and where was that at?
That was south of 7 Mile and Berg, near a abandoned structure next to a dirt parking lot. About, I can't give an exact distance, maybe 50 feet off the river.
Okay. And when you find articles of clothing, what is it that you do in your role?
So there's a lot of stuff that might be washed up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to age it and make sure that it is something that could possibly be related. And then I'm going to just immediately report a picture to the incident command so that they can send people to properly inspect it.
Okay, and when you say age, what do you mean by aging?
Just to make sure that it hasn't obviously been in the brush for years, or it's not some garbage that washed up. That's all.
Okay, and in this search in particular, what was kind of the time frame that you were supposed to be like using to age?
Recent, not like within a month or two.
Okay.
So it would still look new.
Okay. And so when you find items, you said that you age them and then you kind of report them to Instant Command.
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that you report them? Do you go out like a walkie-talkie? Do you call them on the phone?
Via radio.
Okay.
Just
Okay. And what is it that you found in this case?
I found I don't know if this is the right term for it, but like a onesie.
Okay.
It was mostly balled up in the brush with a shoe inside of it. And so I pulled I didn't know it was clothing at the time, but I pulled it out of the brush just to kind of open it up and see what it was. And then once I saw that it was clothing with the shoe inside, I just reported it to the incident command.
Okay. And when you're touching these items, are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall, describe the onesie, color, size, anything like that?
Pink.
Okay.
Honestly, the size, small.
And what about the shoes?
Shoe.
Or shoes. The shoe that you found.
It was a
sorry.
small Nike shoe.
Okay.
And it was.
Sorry.
It was inside the onesie, which was inside out.
Okay. Okay. And were you instructed to recover those at the time?
Like bag them and bring them somewhere?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't.
Were you show just some specific pictures from that? We're looking at picture 63 here. Tell me, do you recognize anything in this photo?
Yes.
What is it that you recognize?
The pink article of clothing in the shoe.
Okay, and when you initially saw these items, is that how you saw them?
No, they were just balled up in the brush, just kind of stuffed in there.
Okay.
So
sorry, continue.
I pulled them out and set them that way so the detectives would see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to photo 69. Is this the shoe that you had found that was inside the leg of the pink jumpsuit? Or
Yes.
onesie? Okay.
Yes, it is.
And 67. Is this
Yep.
Also a photo of them just from the behind?
Yes.
Okay, and you're the one who kind of took them apart and placed them separately like that?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And did you do anything else as it relates to this case?
No.
And nothing further, Judge. Oh.
So then that makes me ask myself, okay, where is her coat that she has on in this photo right here? Because they have the hoodie with the rest of the odd stuff that I said was placed there. And if this is what she had on, who's scripting this girl and then doing away with her? Why not do away with her? And who's scripting her and taking some and not all? Because they didn't take this coat. The powder blue sweater Annette said she had on, that ain't throughout nowhere. So she still got this coat and that hoodie, and she butt booty naked. Like, that don't even make sense. And then I think that they only had one of those shoes. Where's the other shoe? Like, you can't just tell me anything. You can't tell me that this sugar, but it's salt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. Somebody lying, and with y'all help, we're gonna break it down together. I'm not here to argue with nobody about this situation. This is all my opinion. I don't care what y'all think at this point. Because y'all mean to tell me that they knew this girl was pregnant. How did they know she was pregnant? Let's see. They went and got an at-home pregnancy test, or did they take her to the doctor? Let's just go with the theory at-home pregnancy test. So y'all mean to tell me she ain't went to see no doctor at all since she been pregnant, and that girl looked like she about 4 to 5 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance? Nah, that ain't true. I believe she had a doctor's appointment, and they told her that she was pregnant. I believe she was coming up on another doctor's appointment, which she told Jarvis in a text message. And I believe she ended up finding out what she was having. This is all my theory. I don't care if y'all don't agree with my theory, but this is my theory. Because what cousin is arguing with her brother, which is Roxy, and she slips up and say, I'm doing this for your sister and your niece. Normal people don't do that. So my speculations is they all knew that she was pregnant. They knew what she was having. Jarvis knew what she was having. He was trying to do at-home abortion because he knew if she would end up having that baby, it was going to become a problem for everybody. They all knew it. So I guess this was their elaborate way of trying to get away with, but not getting away type thing. Like, they so fucking, they some idiots. Like, who tries to perform an at-home abortion? Like, come on now, that don't even make sense, y'all. And then I got people in my comments saying she couldn't have knew what she was having because the doctor didn't say it when they read off her records. And I'm telling y'all, that was not her doctor. That was a doctor that performs autopsies, and he goes on site to pronounce a person's death. So they was using him just to go over her medical records to say that just all together she was a healthy individual. Now, I told y'all, they don't present all the hardcore evidence in preliminary. This is just to bound him over for trial, to say that they have enough sufficient evidence to bound him over for trial. And if she did know, it's going to come out in trial. They're not going to let y'all know everything. And I'm not saying for sure that she knew what she was having, but based off what her cousin said is what made me think like maybe they all knew what she was having. But this is my theory, and this is where I'm going with. Now, it's not to say that that's really what happened, that they knew. But this is my theory. And if it comes out in trial that she knew what she was having, then, oh well. If it comes out that she didn't know what she was having, okay, oh well. But I'm giving y'all commentary on what I think. And everybody is entitled to their opinion, just like y'all are entitled to y'all opinion. But don't try to knock me for my opinion. So this is what I think. Let's continue. So I want y'all to pay attention closely to this video I'm about to play, because something just hit me. The medical records is from 2011 to 2023. She hasn't been to the doctor. Either she hasn't been to the doctor since 2023, or, like I said, they just waiting to present the rest of it in trial. But that right there says a lot. Like, if she ain't been in 2023 since 2023, what the fuck is they hiding? What is they trying to hide? Y'all tell me what y'all think about that part. Now, I want y'all, one of these smart people that's in my comments, to pay attention to this video about this doctor testifying.
Following that, I did a fellowship in forensic pathology at the Medical College of Wisconsin and passed the board examination in anatomic, clinical, and forensic pathology.
And is that two separate board certifications?
Yes.
Okay, can you just separate those out?
Yes, so I passed the board examination for anatomic and clinical pathology and the board examination for forensic pathology, so I'm certified in both.
And then, is that while you were working at the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office?
No, before.
Okay, and then you started working there?
Yes.
And for the last 6 years, has it been your primary role or one of your main roles is to perform autopsies?
Yes.
Okay. And are you currently practiced or licensed to practice medicine in the state of Michigan?
Yes.
And have you testified as an expert in this field before?
Yes.
Judge, at this time I would move to qualify Dr. Reyes as an expert in forensic, anatomical, and clinical pathology.
Your Honor, I'm actually going to object. I don't see the relevance of Dr. Reyes' testimony in this matter. We haven't heard anything that he's performed an autopsy. That would be the matter of his expertise.
Judge, I believe that as an offer of proof, Dr. Reyes is going to testify to a review of Naziah's medical records that he was provided and his opinion as to those records. I can ask him if record review is something that he does as part of his job on a regular basis.
If you could.
Yeah. Doctor, in terms of performing autopsies and coming to your conclusions as to cause and manner, do you regularly review medical records associated with the decedent?
Yes, I do.
And is that something that can inform your opinion as to a cause and manner of death?
Yes.
And do you rely on those records in various cases?
Yes.
And were you asked to review medical records in this case?
Yes.
You did not perform an autopsy in this case, though,
No.
correct? I would renew my qualification for Dr. Reyes, Judge.
I would be curious to know what was the date on the medical records that he reviewed for any relevance of the medical records to this matter.
Well, I think it is relevant because we provide an offer of proof as to why the witness is on stand regarding medical records.
I guess I can object when we get to that.
Right. I mean,
Understood.
object or on cross. So, yes.
Thank you, Judge. And, Judge, at this time, too, and I should have done this before I called him, I would move to admit People's Proposed 18, which are the medical records from July 2014 to October of 2023 for Naziah Harris.
And at this time, I'm going to object to the irrelevant. They're through October 2023. The date of disappearance of Naziah Harris was January 2024. That's a 4-month period. I don't see how these are relevant to what might have happened in those 4 months. Certainly not relevant to what may have happened on January the 9th.
And Judge, I think the defense's objection as to relevancy goes to the weight that this court can give those or not give those records, not the admissibility of those records, because while it doesn't encompass straight up to the January 9th, it does encompass a several-year period for her where, as again, an offer of proof, the doctor is going to say there was nothing life-threatening that he saw in these records.
I would agree. Overruled. I would admit that's People's Exhibit 18.
18, Judge, thank you. And may I approach, Judge?
Yes.
Approaching with what's now been admitted, People's 18. Doctor, do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And are those the records that you reviewed to come to a conclusion in this case as to the review of those records?
Yes.
And did you ultimately write a report as to your conclusions on your review of those records?
Yes.
May I approach her?
Yes.
I'm approaching with what's been marked as People's Proposed 42. Do you recognize that document that I handed you at Proposed 42, Doctor?
Yes.
And is that your report that you wrote after you reviewed the records in Exhibit 18?
Yes.
What's the exhibit number on that document?
Exhibit 42.
It says 42. And at this time, Judge, I would move to admit People's proposed 42.
And I'm objecting to this, Your Honor, specifically to the last paragraph in this letter. It assumes facts, not in evidence, where it says the cause of death remains unknown. There's not evidence of a death at this point. In terms of MRE 703, I don't believe that they'd be admissible pursuant to any expert testimony, because the expert testimony has to rely on facts in our data and evidence, and we don't have that. It's not, as far as I understand, Dr. Ray's job to declare death, and we don't have a declaration of death. We see no government, paperwork from any government agency making that declaration.
And Judge, I don't think that's required for the doctor to opine as to his opinions as to the medical records that he reviewed in this case. His qualifications allow him to do that. Those medical records are what he's talking about. Those medical records are admitted into evidence at this point, and the underlying data that he relied on is there, so that does comport with MRE 703 related to expert witnesses and opinions.
And of course, it's a little difficult because
I'm telling y'all, I really believe that this baby was at least 4 to 5 months pregnant. And all that happened was these motherfuckers, excuse my language, they panicked, didn't know what to do. They just didn't know what to do. So let's continue.
speaking to the last paragraph.
The last paragraph, which assumes the fact that I don't believe has been placed in evidence and is beyond the ken of Dr. Ray's expertise in this matter.
It mentions the cause of death.
Correct.
It says that the cause of death remains unknown, which, Judge, obviously Ms. Quake is getting to one of the main issues in this case and one of the big questions in this case that I anticipate is going to be a defense argument. And we will have that argument at some point, but for the purposes of this testimony, the data that Dr. Ray has relied on is in evidence, and certainly this court can take that document in the proposed exhibit for what it says and give it the appropriate weight.
I will give it the appropriate weight. We all know that that's one of the big issues here in this case. So I will admit it with your objection noted.
Thank you, Judge.
That'll be exhibit 42.
Thank you, Judge. And Doctor, were you requested to do this medical record review by a certain agency?
Yes.
And who requested that?
Wayne County Prosecutor Office.
Okay, and after you reviewed those records, you wrote that report. Can you read the last paragraph of that report?
Yes. The last paragraph states, as we do not have Nazaya's body available for examination, the cause of death remains unknown. Her medical history reveals no life-threatening conditions, and her vaccinations were up to date.
And based on the records that you reviewed in that time period, did you see anything in there that would have caused Nazaya to die naturally?
No.
I have nothing further.
I'm really sitting here thinking if I should keep cooking or is y'all full yet? And then I continue later on today. But I feel like they need to get all of them in an interrogation room separately and interrogate the fuck out of them. Somebody gonna break. This is just too much. This baby didn't deserve this. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna stop right here. It's 30 minutes long. Y'all comment and tell me if y'all want more.